You know, I've been yelling the last 2 years or so that Judd Apatow got a mad on for Bill Cosby. And I told y'all in various videos what I think it is. But I really think it boils down to just plain old fashioned racism. Black man is accused of crime, white man feeling sense. He got to go out there and sound the horn and whatnot and make sure he destroys black men. Even though black man is saying, hey, ain't nobody listening, ain't nobody using common sense. You know, the dates and things don't match up. It just doesn't sound credible. But all they know is that a black man has been accused of something, a black man that has some money. Now, for years, we've heard about the casting couch. You know, for years, we've seen women in and out of our community do questionable things. Now, I'm not saying that gives any man a right to force himself on a woman or harass her at work. But what I'm saying is there's some complicity that goes down here. These are not little girls. These are not eighth graders. These are not high schoolers who've never been exposed. These are women or are adults who want to be in Hollywood extremely bad. They want to be in a position of power or authority. So they do everything they can to get ahead. Now I know y'all gonna be saying, Harvey, you just like you blaming the victim. I'm not blaming. These women are accusers. We gotta stop saying victim. When you say victim, you automatically say you believe them. There are women who have lied on men. Black, white, Asian, Hispanic, it doesn't matter. They've lied. Now, being that I am a black man, I'm very sensitive to this subject because too many black males, young and old, have lost their livelihoods, their reputations, or even their lives because of a claim of rape or harassment. Now, if you are a man out here doing these things and you get busted doing it, they got you dead to rights, I can't defend you because you had to practice some self-control. But the thing is, there are guys out here who haven't done these things are going down being accused. And people are not taking time out to listen to the story and get the facts together and think and use logic, use common sense. Now, I said at the beginning when Cosby first came out many years ago about the woman in question and Bill Cosby, I said, Cosby's not wholesome after all. But then you start to read a little bit more and say, okay, wait a minute. If this woman has been harassed, why is she asking for cash automatically? And I've stated this before. If you're a victim of a crime and you know you're a victim, go to court first. Go fight to make sure this is official. This person did what they did. It's in the system. They're gonna get some jail time or something. They gotta get some restitution. Then you go for the monetary. But if you jumping for the monetary right during the whole that proceeding, I'm questioning your legitimacy. I'm just being honest with you. Now, if you guys been following me, there've been quite a few news stories where brothers have been accused of crimes that everybody swearing that they commit. And I said, y'all use logic. I told you about the Chris Brown thing. I told you about Kanye. I told y'all recently about Nelly. I said, these cats ain't doing what they being accused of. I said, y'all need to use some common sense. Some of our brothers and sisters don't watch the news or certain programs, don't read magazines or whatnot, or they don't understand the human condition. They don't know how to read people. See, I know how to read people. I know when somebody's lying to me. I know within the first 5 to 10 minutes that I'm dealing with somebody racist. I know within the first 5 to 10 minutes I'm dealing with somebody sexist. I know within the first 5 to 10 minutes I'm dealing with somebody's arrogant. I know in the first 5 to 10 minutes somebody's trying to mind fuck me. I know. See, I had those early experiences and my parents didn't sugarcoat it. They explained it. And plus, I was that type of kid, ask questions. Back then, children asked questions. Either parents told you straight up what it was or they lied to you. And I'm glad that I grew up in a household where my parents did not BS me like that. I mean, it's times where they did as a kid, you know it, but you can't say anything or prove, so you play along. But usually around the age of 12, your personality is set in or have developed, and you know bullshit when you see it, when you smell it. I remember years ago watching Lifestyles of the Rich and Famous when Donald Trump was on there and Robin Leach was interviewed, and I knew just from the tone, I said, this guy don't like black folk. His demeanor and stuff. And over the years, I was proven right. I remember my mother had an acquaintance that I warned her and my father about I said, something about this chick and her husband ain't right. Now, I didn't use the word chick. I said, this is something, Miss Such and Such is not, it's something about her is just not right. Now, my mother, she thought that was a friend. And I remember my parents telling me at a young age, she said, you're lucky if you found one friend. Usually they're classmates, neighborhood friends, or acquaintances. And I told my parents, I had to be about 12 years old, and I said, there's something about this woman is off. I don't trust her. Now, back then, parents put kids in their place. Even when kids are trying to be helpful, they stay in the child's place. Well, I told y'all about how my parents' business got screwed up. Well, this woman screwed my parents out of their business. Bad mouth, they lost a lot of important contracts. That's when, after that, my family went into stretch where we struggled for a minute. And I remember right before my mother died, she said, "You always been the one to point out when somebody's up to no good." She said, "You got a third eye." My father, he was just telling my mother that he's very observant. It's hard to get shit past me. Only time somebody ever gets something past me, I gotta be sick or preoccupied with multiple things. So I mean, I don't mean to go on a tangent, but I just want to let people understand that it's kind of hard to get shit past me. So when I see people like Judd Apatow, Gloria Allred, Lisa Bloom, and a certain group of white folk and black folk on TV, I know who we're dealing with. Judd Apatow is a fucking racist. There's just no way around it. And Judd Apatow is and also he belongs to a group or that claims to be something they're not. But they always are the ones in the thick of shit. And I'm gonna tell you something right now. Judd Apatow is one of those white guys that obsess over black men, position in the world, position within the community. And Lord forbid that brother got any financial assets that a white person think that we shouldn't have, they set out to destroy. And Judd Apatow said it on TV multiple occasions, whether he'd been on Bill Maher, Jimmy Fallon, Seth Meyers, Jimmy Kimmel, you name it. His mission is to destroy Bill Cosby's legacy. Impair him from making money. Now, what hurt Bill Cosby is that you had people that worked with Cosby they saw which way the wind was blowing and they decided to pile on. Joseph C. Phillips and a few others. But I always said from the jump, I said, Bill Cosby at a certain age, ain't no way no black man during the 1950s or 60s or even the 70s and 80s is going to force himself on a white woman and she's not going to yell. And that goes for today. There's no white woman that I've ever heard hesitate about out in the black man when it comes down to him having a relationship with her, whether it's consensual or forced. That's one thing right there the news reporters and people in general dismissed altogether. Then the timelines, the stories are not adding up. But then you got the people out there like Hannibal Buress that brought this up out of the blue. Why would you bring something that happened so many years ago out of the blue like that? He was giving marching orders. That's what it was. And on cue, everybody fell in line. Bill Maher and Paula, Tina Fey, everybody. But Judd Apatow, he was at the leading charge. Come on, folks, follow me. We're about to destroy this old Negro. And I told y'all, I said, pay attention to what he's doing. And he had other people around him. But Judd led the charge. I'm like, this is personal for him. And when people ever asked him, he said, well, I got daughters. Okay, you had daughters prior to Bill Cosby, and you wasn't angry about sexism or sexual harassment. Don't tell me you get mad because somebody famous. That makes you a hypocrite. But Judd, it's racism. You can see it. You can feel it. I can tell. I've never been in a room with Judd Apatow, but I can pick up on white men racism real quick. And most brothers can. Now, these younger cats out here, they've lost the ability to pick up on anything the way they've been conditioned and raised. This is why you get some of them talking about white people about my records too. They my friend. They cool. They can call me a nigga. That kind of stuff. I know better. I live in the Midwest. I live in the Chicagoland area. Chicago has a special kind of racism. Illinois has a special kind of racism. And I know people saying everybody think that. No, no, no. It's special here. Any brother and sister that lives in Chicago, that travel, people who left another state come to Chicago, they can tell you. Dr. King said it multiple times before he died. He said he never had fear till he got to Chicago. I'm telling you right now, you know the racism. Now everybody in Chicago is not racist. Every white person across the country is not racist. So before anybody starts saying, you call us all racist, calm the fuck down. And I know that brother and sister say, you give the benefit of the doubt, Harvey. No, it's not the benefit of the doubt. I'm being fair. Like we know that every black person is not a baby daddy or baby mama or a criminal, you know what I mean? Or a deadbeat, male or female. We have to be fair because there are white folk out here who don't believe that Cosby is guilty either. It's just that the media is not going to focus on those people. Now, those of us who've been on YouTube doing these commentaries, we've been consistent about Bill Cosby. Because a lot of us took time out to listen to the stories multiple times. We sat there and just said, okay, fine. I warned y'all that it was going to change laws behind this Cosby thing. There's a lot of things that people did during the Cosby thing, Chris Brown thing, even with Kanye West to a certain extent, that they're not doing for these other guys. But the other day, one of my subs said, hey, Harvey, shut up, that you ain't talking about Bill Cosby. So I said, when and where? And I don't believe they ever got back to me that day. And I believe it was, Thursday, if I remember correctly. So I'm sitting there looking at different notifications and different recommendations. So I see them saying Me Too, and there's an all-male panel, CBS. Alex Wagner was talking to him. And as usual, Judd Apatow mentioned Bill Cosby. I believe he mentioned him at least 3 times. And I said, this guy cannot go an interview without throwing Cosby's name out there. But there's something happened this morning. I was tossing and turning, and my dog came in the room waking up. I guess because he probably heard me tossing, because if I have nightmares or he hear me bumping around, he's trained to come in the room to see if I'm okay. So I raise up and I say, hey, boy. And I turn on the TV to get my bearings to see what time it is, because this time of year it's still dark. You don't know if it's late or early. So my television happened to be on CBS. And they said, Alex Wagner talked to a panel of men about Me Too. And they showed images of white men and 2 black men, Russ Simmons, and I think a brother works at the NFL station or whatever. And I noticed the pictures of the white men had them in normal poses in the movie. And the pictures like smiling or look of concern or stern look of authority. And the black guys looking all sinister and evil. And I peeped that. And I've been peeping that a lot lately in these various images. You know that images of John Clayton like he's frowning? That unflattering picture? They threw it up of him. If you watch the images of Russell Simmons, watch the images they put up of him. Watch the images they put up of Cosby and all these other cats. I'm telling you, these people think they slick. But anyways, I listened to the interview and I noticed something. I said, that's not what was said in the interview the other day. And I said, wait, maybe I missed something. Maybe I misheard something. So I said, let me go back and look at it, listen to it again. I'm like, nah, I didn't hear. So I got up and I said, let me go find that audio or that video real quick where he mentioned Cosby's name. At least twice, maybe 3 times. So what I'm going to do is going to play you what CBS played this morning, okay? What I'm going to do, and the sound quality may be stronger because the first one I got right off the TV, second one right off of my laptop. But I want you to listen to what's going to be said, and they edited it. I'm going to tell you why I think they edited it, and I think and I think that, well, let me play it, then I just give you my commentary. Somebody must have said something to oops, sorry. CBS. Let's see. Let me do that again.
You're rejected by society. But what about that chef who's working at some gets outed, I'll just move to another town and no one's gonna know his face. He'll get a job.
You said something, I thought that was really powerful. The reason that Hollywood has been silent about so much of this is because of greed. What did you mean by that?
Well, I think that's true for all businesses, which is, I think most people are very self-serving, and they don't want to be the person to say, we need to stop this person who's hurting people. They just don't want to make a scene. They don't want to be that, that loudmouth who's like, Harvey Weinstein's hurting people. Let's all not work with him.
Right.
And you heard that, right? Judd Apatow said nobody want to work with Harvey Weinstein. Okay. Right after that, he said something about Bill Cosby. But in the original interview, it went like this.
Great hotel in Nebraska somewhere who sexually harassed women gets outed. I'll just move to another town and no one's gonna know his face. And he'll get a job.
So to some degree, this is a conversation about who has power and how power is wielded.
And who has power that doesn't do anything. Harvey Weinstein's writing checks to people.
Right.
Bill Cosby's writing checks to people.
Right.
And because he's still making a lot of money, the powerful people, they're just saying...
Now you heard that, right? You heard that. You heard him mention Bill Cosby in the second audio. What they did was they took segments and they made sure they edited Cosby's name out of it. And I'm gonna tell you why I think they did that. People are watching our commentaries, whether it be on YouTube, but mostly on YouTube, or other websites. And people are noticing that there are a lot of people pointing out inaccuracies, or people pointing out that these women are retracting their stories, or they're getting in trouble, and they said, wait a minute, we went after Bill Cosby in such a way that we basically branded him guilty within the court of public opinion, but these white guys who see they got more dirt and more evidence on them, we be giving them a wide berth. And then Cosby got a new lawyer, Tom Mesereau, and Tom Mesereau was on CBS saying, you guys are further slandering my client. Now you guys heard both versions of the audio. They made sure they didn't mention Cosby or show his image in today's segment. See, that's the power of black press, black media. This is what the Black Authority, Professor Black Truth, The Advice Show, me, Jay Miller, Knowledge, Mr. Griffin, Chris Miller, the Royal Family, all these people have all said for years, we have to be vocal. See, the problem is that they've been so used to blaming black men for everything. People need to understand, black males, young and old, have had their livelihoods, their reputations, or even their lives taken away from them because somebody said, oh, that big black brute. How many stories this year long have we found out where people lied and said that we committed acts of crime? Just the other day, you had a white man and white woman from Minnesota lie and said black men robbed them on Lower Wacker Drive. Now, anybody from Chicago said on Lower Wacker Drive, that's virtually impossible. But okay, we'll bite just a little bit. Then when the police asked questions and they couldn't give specific answers and stuff, they found out he was lying. And I've done videos about that before. People don't understand, or at least I think they do understand, that a lie on a black person has more power than anything. And Judd Apatow, he's out there pushing this stuff. Remember, he said he's going to destroy Cosby's legacy one way or another. But while he's doing that, he's making people sympathetic to Cosby. And he said, let me go do my research. And when you do a lot of the research, you say, wait a minute, there's some inconsistencies in these stories. And why is Judd out there prejudicing potential jury members and whatnot? Because they got to go back to court, I forget, was it the spring or summer next year? Cosby should never went to court the second time. Because the first prosecutor didn't find enough evidence. And the second prosecutor only took Cosby to court because he ran on trying to get Bill Cosby. Now, I don't know if Mr. Cosby is perfect or not. Actually, I do know. He's no such thing as a perfect human being. Well, I should say, I don't know if he actually forced some of these women or not, but the story is not adding up the time frame. It doesn't make any it escapes logic. That's what I should say. Now we got Tavis getting accused. And see, some people we know, like, oh, that's not that person. I just thinking about all the stuff that Mr. Cosby has done over the years, said over the years. If they want to go after Cosby, really go after him, stop him, and make him suffer, they want to go after him in the 70s and the 80s. Don't wait till this guy become damn near blind and old and say, okay, we're finna take you down. There are a lot of people who go to benefit off Cosby. And they figured Bill Cosby did to Michael Jackson. And we saw how that worked out, even to Chris Brown to a certain extent. We have to understand that there are a group of people out here who do not want black men to have a positive image. But to sit there and listen like, damn, CBS erased Cosby out of the segment. I said, somebody must have said something, or they watched our commentaries, and they don't want to be accused as aiding a certain narrative. Because you notice lately, white women are starting to say, we can't be quick to rush to judgment. And I started laughing when I hear that shit. I'm like, y'all built a industry off of lying on people. We as black people have to call this out. Judd Apatow and CBS, actually CBS thought about it. Judd Apatow thought he was gonna be slick. It didn't work. I'm telling you, average person probably never caught that. But see, I watch the news, and I say everything, and people say, and I try to file that stuff away. So somebody say, hey, they didn't like, but they don't sound like that person. Let me tell you the person I know. Now, like I said, Cosby could have done those things, but when those women's stories started to change from interview to interview, from television personality to others, I'm like, So I'm curious what y'all think about the audio I played. Because I'm telling you, they made sure he took reference to Cosby out. And also could have been Cosby's lawyer. Tom Mercer don't strike me as the dude who's going to play games. But what we should do is from now on, if we see somebody mention a black person, male or female, in a negative and try to pile on, we need to call it out. I don't care if that brother and sister is not down to community. We need to call it their hypocrisies. Because I'm telling you something, there's so many Jewish men and women who have been accused of shit the last few months, and the media is giving them wide berth. And Judd Apatow don't have no jihad against them. I'm telling you, Judd Apatow racism is showing. And anybody who sit there and say, well, he can't be racist because he's Jewish, I say, you don't know your history. You don't know your history. Trust me on this one. It's personal for Judd Apatow. It's extremely personal.